Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Choosing the right amplifier can be tricky, especially with so many options out there. In this video, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to pick a quality amplifier that perfectly complements your speakers. We'll cover things like power ratings, impedance matching, and different amplifier types so you can avoid common mistakes and get the best possible sound. Let's get started. Hey everyone, let's dive into choosing the perfect amplifier for your speakers. This is a crucial step, and getting it wrong can seriously impact your sound quality. We'll cover everything you need to know to make an informed decision. First, let's talk about choosing the right amplifier. The most important factor is power. You need an amplifier that can handle the power requirements of your speakers. Check your speaker's specifications, they'll usually list the wattage. Don't just look at the peak wattage, pay close attention to the RMS, root mean square wattage, which represents the continuous power the speaker can handle. Getting an amplifier with too little power will result in weak, distorted sound. Too much power, and you risk damaging your speakers. Think of it like this: you wouldn't put a 100 horsepower engine in a tiny go-kart, right? It's the same principle here. Find a balance that matches your speaker's needs. Beyond wattage, consider the amplifier's impedance matching. This refers to the resistance the amplifier sees from the speakers. Mismatch here can lead to poor performance or even damage. Make sure the amplifier's impedance matches your speaker's impedance. This information is usually found in the specifications of both the amplifier and the speakers. Also, think about the features you need. Some amplifiers offer additional features like equalization controls, allowing you to fine-tune the sound to your preference. Others might have multiple inputs for connecting various audio sources. Consider what features are important to you and choose accordingly. Don't get caught up in unnecessary bells and whistles if you don't need them. Now, let's shift gears and talk about my experience with the Super Doctor's radar detector. I've been using it for a few months now, and I'm pretty impressed with its performance. The range is excellent, and it's picked up signals from quite a distance. The false alarm rate is relatively low, which is a huge plus. I've had a few false alarms, but nothing excessive. The display is clear and easy to read, even in bright sunlight. The overall build quality feels solid and durable. It's a bit pricey, but in my opinion, the performance justifies the cost. It's definitely a worthwhile investment for anyone who spends a significant amount of time on the road. Of course, every radar detector has its limitations, and this one is no exception. Sometimes, in areas with heavy traffic or lots of electronic interference, it can be a little less reliable. But overall, I'm very happy with my purchase. Next up is the i57 VST Squirrel. This is a fascinating little device. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, as it's a bit outside the scope of choosing an amplifier, but it's worth mentioning. It's a tiny, incredibly powerful device that can be used for various applications. It's incredibly versatile and has a lot of potential. If you're interested in learning more, I'll leave a link in the description. Now, let's get back to amplifiers. How do you make the right choice? It all comes down to understanding your needs and your speakers. Consider the power requirements of your speakers, the impedance matching, and any additional features you might want. Read reviews, compare prices, and don't be afraid to ask questions. There's a lot of information available online and many forums where you can get advice from other audio enthusiasts. Finally, let's touch on cabinet dimensions and media type. The size and construction of your speaker cabinets will influence the sound quality. Larger cabinets generally offer better bass response, while smaller cabinets might be more suitable for smaller spaces. The type of media you'll be playing also matters. If you're primarily listening to classical music, you might prioritize an amplifier with a warmer, more detailed sound. If you're into rock or electronic music, you might prefer an amplifier with more punch and power. Consider these factors when making your decision. Choosing the right amplifier is a significant investment, so take your time and do your research. Remember, the goal is to find an amplifier that complements your speakers and delivers the best possible sound quality for your listening preferences. Hey everyone, and welcome. So you're looking to upgrade your car audio, huh? That's awesome. Let's dive right into choosing the right amplifier for your speakers. We'll cover everything from connecting your speakers to your stereo to matching components for the best possible sound. First, let's talk about the connection system. This is crucial. You need to understand the different types of connections you'll encounter. Most car stereos use standard RCA outputs for the amplifier. These are your left and right channels and sometimes a subwoofer output. Make sure your amplifier has matching inputs. Then, you'll have speaker wire outputs from your amplifier to your speakers. This is usually 16 gauge or 18 gauge wire, depending on the power output of your amp and the distance to your speakers. Thicker wire is better for longer runs and higher power. Don't forget about grounding. A solid ground connection is essential for clean, noise-free audio. A poor ground can lead to all sorts of problems, from buzzing to complete silence. Make sure you use a proper grounding point on your car's chassis and clean the contact surfaces before connecting. Next, let's go through connecting your speakers to your car stereo, step by step. First, you'll need to disconnect your car battery's negative terminal safety first. Then, carefully remove your car's door panels or dash panels, depending on where your speakers are located. This usually involves unscrewing some screws and popping off some clips. Be gentle to avoid breaking anything. Once you have access to your speakers, disconnect the old speaker wires. Now, run your new speaker wires from your amplifier to your speakers. Make sure you have the correct polarity, positive to positive, negative to negative. Incorrect polarity will result in out-of-phase sound, and it can even damage your speakers. Once the wires are connected, carefully reassemble your door panels or dash panels. Finally, reconnect your car battery's negative terminal. Remember to test your system after everything is reconnected to make sure everything is working correctly. Now, let's talk about choosing speakers for your car. This is a big topic, but the key is to consider the size and power handling of your speakers. You need speakers that fit your car's mounting locations. Then, you need to match the power handling of your speakers to the power output of your amplifier. If you use an amplifier that's too powerful for your speakers, you risk damaging them. Conversely, if your amplifier isn't powerful enough, your speakers won't sound their best. Think about the type of sound you want, too. Some speakers are designed for bass-heavy sound, while others are better for clear highs and mids. Consider your personal preferences when making your choice. Matching your speakers and amplifier to your car stereo is all about impedance. Your car stereo will have a specific output impedance and your amplifier will have a specific input impedance. Your speakers will also have an impedance rating. These need to match up correctly. Mismatched impedances can lead to poor sound quality, distortion, or even damage to your equipment. Always check the specifications of your components to ensure compatibility. The goal is to create a system where everything works together harmoniously. Let's explore a couple of options for achieving excellent car sound. The first option is a simple system with a single amplifier powering your front and rear speakers. This is a cost-effective solution that provides a noticeable improvement over your car's factory system. This setup is relatively easy to install and requires minimal wiring. However, it may not offer the same level of control and customization as more complex systems. Now, let's look at the electrical wiring diagram. This is important for understanding how everything connects. A well-labeled diagram will show you how to connect your amplifier, speakers, and car stereo. It will also show you where to connect your ground wire and power wire. It's a good idea to study the diagram carefully before you start connecting anything. This will help you avoid any mistakes. Finally, let's cover some basic aspects of connecting speakers. Remember to always disconnect your car battery's negative terminal before starting any work. Use the correct gauge wire for your system. Make sure all connections are secure and well insulated. And always double-check your polarity before turning on your system. Taking these precautions will help you avoid damaging your equipment and ensure a safe and successful installation.